Yeah, so thank you very much for giving us an opportunity to feature on this program. And yes, maybe coming from the historical perspective, for a long, long time, Zambia has had the space meteorological observation infrastructure. And that infrastructure was basically what we call manual stations, where you have a human being or officers there that will take observations, record, and then send them to the central processing unit at Zambia Meteorological headquarters here in Lusaka. So now, of course, when you compare that number of meteorological stations with the vastness of the country, it really meant that in between stations we had a lot of uncertainties. And those uncertainties sometimes would bring what about something not very accurate focus. So now, I think with the government coming on board and its support, we have now purchased the new stations, the 120 automatic weather stations that the minister launched over a couple of days ago, I think a day or so before. So this really means that those uncertainties now are being reduced, because we have quite a number of observation stations. So once that one is done, it means then that the quality of the products that the Zambia Meteorological Meteorological Department produces will be of very, very high value, as well as quite accurate. So now, in comparison with what was happening before, which means basically that even the early warning information system or information that we are supposed to produce is going to be very, very helpful to the sectors like agriculture. You talk about sectors like energy. You talk about sectors like healthy, tourism, etc. So really, this is going to bring in a lot of high value information, because we have a lot of observation points that are going to be done. Of course, this is going to be in every district, and meaning that at least the coverage across the country will be much, much improved. But that's not all. I think the program will be ongoing, because I think our vision is that we should have almost in every agricultural camp, at least we need to have the observation infrastructure. We also expanding to schools, because as you may know that some time back we used to have these clubs at schools, and the people were observing and things like that. That would add to the network that the Zambia Meteorological Department has. So in essence, anyway, bringing in on board of the automatic weather stations is actually just doing that. Secondly, we are looking now at automatic weather stations, okay? Meaning that instead of a human being basically going out there to observe, because some of the sites where these stations have been put where could not be habitable, for instance. So meaning that the weather has to be observed even in the areas that are not human, that are not habitable. Yes. So meaning that you see now the element of automatic weather stations brings in on board issues to do with the technology. We are in a technological world this time. So meaning we have to embrace technology as well, so that we are able to get this information wherever it is. Yes.
Now, if you could kind of describe how much of a challenge it was for your department to carry out some of its work with the equipment that you had before having this, and if at all there's still some challenges that you do face in terms of you having those early warnings that you then communicate to the rest of the country, so as to prevent some of the devastating impacts of these weather patterns.
Okay, so basically the challenge that was there really was just the sparseness of the stations. As I earlier alluded to, that you see the further apart the stations are, it means the uncertainties in between the two stations becomes great, and that was the challenge before. But now, since we are going to be present almost in all the districts, it means this challenge now will be reduced, and as I said, it's going now to improve on the type of products that we're going to make, as well as improving on the early warning information that people need in terms of warning, in terms of droughts, in terms of flooding, and things like that. So really, this bringing on board of as many stations as possible is just trying to remove that kind of uncertainty.